Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Yes.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, good evening, Samuel, little Samuel also. Yeah. I want to believe our day has been good. And I want to also believe that interactions are going on at the other end. Because
Very well, sir.
Yes, because I could see that the interactions we have on Telegram, we use Telegram as
Good evening.
Okay. All right, so do ensure that your mic is on mute, and when I need to call you in to do something, I will acknowledge that. And I would want to be strict with this, that before you make any input, like if you want to say anything, you need to raise your hands like Rachel is doing right now. All right, do not just make use of your mic at will, all right, so that we can all enjoy the class. So until you are acknowledged, you may not be able to talk, you may not be able to, make your inputs. All right, that's just by the way. Rachel, I've seen your hands. Please still keep it up. All right. Yeah. Just like just to provide an overview, I expect that we would have some practical works that we have done based on what I asked us to do yesterday. All right, and even today, our focus will still be on selectors. All right, and by doing so, we have not lost anything. And why? Because somehow we already have like a day that is a plus to us. Like we've gained a day by the way we started earlier. So we have not lost any day, even if we choose to use today for selector. And there are some other topics that they extend beyond a day. So it's not compulsory that we exhaust everything in a topic in a day or in a lesson in a day. All right, it is based on the objective and based on I don't want to say importance now, but based on the broadness, okay, of a lesson that would determine how lengthy and how far it will go to be. Okay, I'll still need you to provide me a feedback on my audio if you can hear me. Yes, I believe you can hear me, but how audible is it? Is it okay and not? Are you comfortable with it, or you are just trying to want to hear me?
It's okay.
Loud and clear, sir.
Not audible my end, though. Not audible enough.
Okay, John always said. Okay, John always said it's audible. Okay, so loud and clear. And I think Victor also said it's the same. Samuel Runyi, how is it from your side?
So it's not audible enough.
Not audible enough.
Yes.
Okay, you're stretching yourself to hear me. Ephraim Samuel,
Yes.
how is it from your side?
Loud and clear, crystal.
Okay, Shewojo, how is it from your side? Vivian Nwako, how is it from your side?
Loud, sir.
Oh, great, thank you. All right, I would not want to ask from Apata Peter, knowing fully well that is in another program. Okay. All right. So I would try to jack up my. All right. Thank you, Ebenezer Friday. All right. I will still, regardless of this applause that I have from you as regards my being audible, I will still try to jack up my voice. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so thank you. Now, Rachel, you have something to say? I can say that.
Sir.
Yeah.
Good evening, sir.
You are what?
I'm greeting. I said good evening, sir.
Oh, good evening. Yes, good evening.
My chat is showing you can't send messages because you are not a member of the chat. I don't know why.
As in right now?
Yes, right now on Teams.
And others are sending messages. Can you read messages from others?
I can't see any message. Is it my network?
Oh, because as a guest,
just
yeah.
log out and log back in. Log out and log in again.
Okay, let me try that. Thank you.
Oh, see, I can see you have sent a message now. I don't see any message. As in like on my network. So that means you have been able to use. It could be it is for a network. Yeah, it's network. I don't. Okay.
It was network. I
Yeah.
can. Thank you.
All right now. Yeah. Okay. So we are yet it's a weekend. We should have a like let's look at what has happened so far. Yesterday I said I did not give you a strict boundaries on what you should work on. I simply made it open that okay, do something around that will depict the full and partial selectors. So I want to take that in now. Today it's also for selectors, so it's for selector. We are still on lesson 4. Yeah. So do we have anyone that has tried something between yesterday and now? Victor, thank you. Who else? Let me see this other hand properly. There is, okay, Joe second, then John Awed third. All right. Okay, do I have any audience from Ghana? I want to see that they are also pushing things from that side. Do you have any audience, anyone from Ghana? Not with respect to assignment undertaken. Do we still have them here? I know we have some. I don't know if they've disconnected. And okay, all right, good. Okay, now the first Victor, second Joe, third all right, just in that order. I want to believe you can share your screen. Can you? Let me know so that I can just on my side.
Yes, sir. Can share the screen.
Okay. So you have your systems, others, I mean, John Away, John Ibrahim, sorry, Joe Shugo, can put on your laptops, let it be on standby.
Okay, sir. Before I carried out this task, I first considered the fact that partial selector, full selector are generated by basic recorder, and partial selectors are generated by desktop recorder. So I gave the robot the same command using basic recorder and desktop recorder. And from my observation, like this one here on my screen, this one here on my screen now currently was done using basic recorder. And I observed that everything that was said about partial selector was actually true. Oh, I mean, was said that was said about full selector was actually true. it contained all the elements needed to identify a UI element, including top-level windows, and it didn't have any basic container. So when I actually ran the robot, everything came out the same. I still had the same output at the end, but the difference was that from the basics from the basic selector, which actually was used for the full, from the basic recording, which was actually used for the full selector, there was no container attached. Like there was no container. There was just one sequence like this, and everything was contained. You can see everything was within there. So let me just run it now. So let me switch to the other one where I use the desktop recorder so that I can actually show the difference I was talking about. Okay, now the screen is up. Now this one, I did it using the desktop recorder, and from what I'm seeing here, I observed that almost every command was put in different containers. Like now you could see attach window in its own container to do, everything was like in its own container. Everything was in its own container from the top to the, every action I took, every command that I did using the recorder was in different container, and it still ended up giving me the same output.
Hello, I can't hear you.
Okay, sorry about that. What I was saying,
what? I can't hear you, please.
Can you hear me now?
Sorry, it's not for you. I think you're muted himself. I'm going to check him. So you can go ahead.
Okay. So I observed that every action or every input, every action I took when I was carrying out this particular activity, when I was particular this particular project, ended up in a different container. So I'm going to, although I still got the same result at the end, when a same result with no error. Still the rest, because I gave the same command with just like the other one, and I still got the same output. So my question now is that, when are we supposed to use the desktop recorder, the desktop recording option, and then when are we supposed to use the basic recording option?
Okay. Thank you. I've noted that. Actually, I wanted to ask, so what should inform the choice of basic recording? But since you have thrown it at me or at us, so then you are a faster person. All right. So we'll get to that place. We'll look at it together tonight. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank
Okay,
you.
sir.
So, all right. Yeah. Joe Oshubu, did you do the same thing? Joe Oshubu. or did you try something different from this?
Hello, sir.
Yes, Joe.
This is James.
Okay, sorry, I will get back to you, James. I'm coming.
I wanted to answer Victor's question.
You wanted to answer his question.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I want to actually. I feel I should collate all the issues and then.
I get it, sir. So that I won't waste much time.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I'll still call you. Don't worry. Yeah, this is Oshubu. Yeah. Yeah, I was asking if you did something different from what last presenter did. That's Victor. Hello, are you with us? If you want to run this, I'm not sure it will go because of you're already connected to Illustrator and it's not active now. You can try it. But let's see what happens. Yeah, Joe.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. I suppose you are in the midst of noise or something. Oh, we won't be able to enjoy you this way. The noise is much, and most of us we are on earpiece headset, so this noise is very close to our ears. Joe, okay. All right. Hey, John, can you share your screen with us? Joe, you can mute. You can mute yourself. Let me do that for you. Oh, no, it's not from Joe. It's from someone else. Please, let us all mute our mics.
Hello, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So, I did basically the same thing.
Okay.
So not the exact same thing, but I just used basic recording and basic recording and desktop recording.
There is serious background noise.
All right, sir.
Okay, yeah, it's better now.
Yes. So I used basic recording.
All right.
First, because that gives it gives full selector for every activity, because it does not create the activities under a container. So it does not put the activities under a container. So we can target each of the activities each of the activities separately. So we can edit the title bar and all. So okay. So that's just a big difference. So this program, it opens an application like a financial software that records deposit transaction. That's just big. Let me run it. My system is slow.
Okay, all right. All right then. Yeah, actually, I saw that you used different application from what obtains on the UiPath, their own their content and examples. So I was interested to see how that's going to work. All right, in some classes and maybe subsequent classes, all right, we'll encourage creativity like Victor did yesterday. Just do something, embellish what is existing, and then sometimes you can run into a problem, or you may not have a perfect work, and then that becomes a project for the entire course. All right, so it's
Yes, sir.
I'm here to see this. I want to see how it goes, and then you show us an attribute that we can look at and say this is partial, this is full selector. This is not a showmanship from John Awe. This is a way of also getting to us as a class. The material, what we are looking at is the material we should be looking at. All right, so we are not out of place. This is not beyond where we should be. We are still within where we should be. All right. It has not run yet, I suppose.
It has. It has.
Okay, but yeah. Yes, Gbadebo, I saw your hand and I saw your comment, your post. So there should be a way of resolving that, but then it's not going to be in class. You need to. I think one of us was having issue, and then there was a channel, a way. There was an option for that person to get to Mr. Korede. Okay, but then again, you can reach out to Mr. Timileyin Hamoye. All right, he's on the Telegram group, so you can scroll through to see Timileyin Hamoye. All right, you would actually help out in that regard. Okay. We have not seen.
You didn't see the program, sir?
Oh, maybe. I didn't see it. Did anyone else see this? Maybe I was the one.
It's not like this.
I haven't seen it.
Oh. It's not really slow.
It's still running.
Yeah, it's still running. All right, type into editable text, hashing. Now, no open windows found for that application. Oh, you've taken it away. We were reading it to say what could be wrong and how to fix it. Problem, yes. Problem solving is part of the class. Looking at those prompts, the errors that have been thrown, and then using it to resolve whatever issues your program is going through is part of the class. What we should do as a class. So, but I saw that we are having issue, I guess, with with application. Perhaps you are meant to have the application open because it's not seeing the application. That's why it's not being able to interact with it.
Maybe, but I bet it should open the application.
Yeah.
It was supposed to.
I didn't see
I thought
everything.
you're supposed to use application activity before you can be able to use that type into.
To open application first and then.
Yes.
Like, okay, let's look at it. Type into editable.
No, he will first of all use application activity. Let him go to that search and type use application.
I didn't use activity manual. I used recording.
Okay.
Okay, can you bring up the application? Can you launch it?
Okay, the application. All right, sir. Let me do that. Oh, sorry. I should have just launched it for you. Where is it? It's here. Okay. I've opened the application now.
Okay, so you can rerun it.
Let me check something. It's okay. It worked.
It worked.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So it
Okay.
So this borders on.
I missed. Or did I? Maybe I deleted it. It was actually. It was. Okay. Maybe it's where I started from. I'd already opened it before I started recording, I guess. Because it's supposed to be here before the type into.
It's supposed to be. I don't think so.
Let me.
But that we have seen what transpired and okay. So all right. So thank you so much and I also say thank you to others that they may not want to share with us because they feel they don't want to it into our time. All right, so good. Everything, all the thinking and thought line, it's okay. All right, yes, this evening, we will continue from where we stopped and see where it will land us to. The issue on selector is very important because if you have tried the practice items, you would notice that it is like it's a very key aspect. A number of times you see questions coming from that side. All right, so it also becomes necessary for us to look at it and understand what the selector it's about. Yes, established that yes, we have full selectors, we have partial selectors, and basic recording will generate full selectors, and desktop will generate partial selectors. And then I think, yes, James wanted to say something, I remember. He wanted to talk about, maybe respond to the first presenter's question. James, are you still there? James Emiade. Okay, maybe he's thrown out or something. All right. Okay, so the question again was that what should inform if you should use basic or use desktop. What should inform that? Now, going by what we'll be sharing this evening, because each of them, they have different speed, they have their peculiarity, and you determine in what situation, determine the situation that we determine if you should use basic or desktop recording, since you're still going to get the same results. Okay. I want to share screen with you. Good. Have you seen my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Basic recording, it's slower. Yeah, and but desktop recording is faster. It's faster than basic recording. Okay. Do we need speed in automation? Yes. And to what extent? Well, it depends. Then we say that in basic recording, it doesn't use containers. In desktop recording, there is use of containers. Okay. Then, so what about full selector, partial selector, or the conditions attached to that? Let me take you. No. Okay, good. Now, your full selector and partial selector gives you this option. Don't forget, what you get where you will get full selector from is from basic recording and partial selector from desktop recording. Okay, so in your full selector, you have you have all the elements that you need to identify the UI elements, and okay, that's okay. You can edit at will. You can change whatever you want to change. With partial selector, yes, not everything, not all the information that you have at the Explore section that can be edited. All right. Okay. So you look at, okay, what do I want? How do I want this thing to run? Those are options you have in basic desktop recording, and of course, generally with software development, you have options, and you determine, okay, where and why I should use this. For instance, in one of the concepts we looked at, still in this topic, when we were looking at input methods, we talked about default send Windows messages, and the third one, simulate type click. We see that default doesn't work at the background. All right, the app you brought up now, I mean, I'm talking about John Awell. Yeah. Okay. It's not going to work at the background. It requires like a level of interaction with the application. Okay. So you have different things you can tweak. You can check for instance, for your application, you can check the input methods, adjust it to what suits you, okay, so that your program can also run at the background. So you have different things you can explore to get results you want. James Emiade, are you back? Hello, James. Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yes. Yeah, James Emiade. Yes, I'm giving you the floor. Yeah. You wanted to say something the other time.
Hello.
Hello. Yes.
Can
Go
you hear me,
ahead.
sir?
Yes, I can.
Hello.
Wow. I can hear you. Hello. I can hear you. All right. Network issues. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, it connects. It does. Will be fine. Containers, partial selectors. Now we have. Okay. Yeah. We also have dynamic selectors. Hello, James.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I wanted to say that one of the differences between basic selector and desktop selector is that basic selector is.
We have basic recording that generates full selector. We have desktop recording that generates partial selector. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, you said basic selector. We don't name it that way. We don't have basic selector so that we don't get distracted when we want to do exams. That's why I'm reviewing that aspect. But I understand what you are trying to say, and I think others also do. But in case some persons do not, so that's why I'm calling that. All right. Do you get what I'm trying to say, James?
Okay, sir. That you are trying to say that basic selector is generated, full recording is generated by basic selector.
Yes.
I don't know if I get.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. It's just the naming. That's what I'm correcting, not the technical aspect. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. The desktop selector is okay for doing for performing actions on the same window, but the full selector is okay for multiple windows.
Now, can you reconstruct what you said now, please? It's very important. Like, put it in a job context. Do you understand what I mean by job business context? Yeah, thank you.
Yes. The full selector is how do I put it? To be used when switching between multiple windows.
No, basic recording. Somebody
Yes.
wants to talk about basic recording.
Oh no, I'm talking about this.
Yeah, I think I get what James is trying to say. If I should clarify. Yeah, I think what he's trying to say is that is the alternation between basic selectors and full selectors, is it or partially selectors, is it basically on the basis of automation? Like, for example, like if you are trying to you have the information, the input, the data of a particular project that you have done, and then you have another one, and then the variables, the arguments share similarities with this one that you are to pursue. So does the alternation between basic selectors and partial selectors, is it on that basis of choosing the variables that share some similarities when it comes to automating the project? I think that is what James is trying to say, is trying to ask. Did I make it clear?
James, is that what you are trying to say? And you can still help us reconstruct until we get a full grasp of this. James, are you still there? Did you hear? I think that should be Abdullah. I didn't see.
Yeah.
I know Ibrahim.
I didn't get what
Ibrahim
said, because my network is going on and off.
Okay.
But what I'm just trying to say is that one of the differences I know between both is about the number of windows that one can work on. So for full recording, you can work on multiple windows, and for the other one, it's just one window.
Okay. Like I heard you and I understand. Okay, I understand very well. Like we get to, let's say during orientation now, or during work or whatever, you get to do something on visiting different windows and all of that. So which one are you going to go for?
Basic.
Perfect. Okay, good. I don't know if you got what I'm trying to do and say. All right. Yes, we have the materials just for us.
Sir, please, can you repeat the question, please?
I said that let's assume that you have a project, something you want to do for your clients, and it requires that your automation, your robot, goes through different windows, goes to different places to get things, data, and all of that, interact with different things, and in different windows. I was asking, which one would you go for? I think that was a question. Is my question clear? Hello?
Yeah, we get it.
It's basic.
Okay. All right. So we have a basis now for choosing basic recording, apart from speed. A very strong basis. And apart from the fact that the selector is full or something. All right. And if it is within same windows, we know which one to go for. So these are things that will inform what we'll do and the choices we will make. Yes, Amarachi, are you there? Okay. All right.
Hello, sir.
Hello. Yeah.
Hello, yeah, sir. Don't the basic have any disadvantage?
Look, you are putting me in a straight.
No, because anything that has some good features will certainly have its own disadvantage.
Like the description now, what we just said now, I think it is your work that will tell us if this thing is a disadvantage in your project or an advantage to you. Do you get what I'm trying to say? That's as like another man's food is another man's poison, something like that. A work requires a work requires you do something within say Windows, and so in that case you may not just as in there is no point you using this using the other one, or do you get? So you just stick to that. So I'm not looking at it from the angle of disadvantage and advantage, but from the angle of use. That's use and context of work. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
I get you, sir. I get you.
Sorry to cut you short, sir.
Yeah, no problem. Go ahead.
Yeah, so basically what you're saying is that it is the work that someone wants to do that will determine what type of window that will be applied.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. I just want to get it clear, sir.
Yes, thank you. Yes, that is it. There are a lot of options we have. You remember, just take note that this is a studio, and we have a lot of predefined tools. So options must be there. You are not writing it from the scratch. Like you want to do it from A to Z. So it's that there must be some level of variability. Like if this one is not available, then you go for this. All right.
And in addition, sir, at least the work and possibly the timeline for the work can also be one of the factors too that will also determine what will make you to choose either any of the options.
Yeah. It's of course. Like for instance, if you want to get some jobs done so fast, you can decide to use recording feature, the recording tool to do your work. But you know that you also have alternative in using activity. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Yes, you can decide to go through the activity panel to do your work, fix them, and if you feel like, oh, this thing I just need to get it done and do something, and then you can decide to use recording. Those are options.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening.
I'm sorry. I've not been actually following the studies due to some light issue and others. Please, this recording, I don't really get. I've not been able to understand it fully. So you were telling James about you were trying to explain to him something about basic recording and partial selectors. Then there's this other recording you said is for full selectors. Please, can you help me to re-explain it again? I don't understand it so that I can grasp the meaning.
I think it was even James that was trying to say something. I was only trying to.
You were trying to correct him. Yes, you were trying to.
Okay. Now the correction is this. Okay. Technically, what he's saying is right. Do you get? He was talking about basic selector. We don't have anything like selector. I'm a teacher, and I set questions. Now, what you have just said now, it's a distract. It's the word basic selector is like a distractor. We call wrong options distractors. and the ones that are the one that is correct in an MCQ, multiple choice question, we call it key. Okay, so now I can put the following the I don't know something the selectors you need, and then I will include basic selector, full selector, partial selector. Now, if you do not understand fully the nomenclature, the naming, you know, what exactly you should call it, you can pick basic selector. You know what you wanted to pick. That you actually wanted to pick full selector. Do you get it? Because of that, you are mixing, you are bringing two things to form your own concepts. That's just what I was trying to address. We have basic recording and that it generates full select. That's all. He's correct. He's saying the right thing. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Huh?
I also get you now, sir.
Okay, yeah, that is what I was only trying to address.
Yeah, I get this particular point, but there was a definition you gave. There was some kind of explanation you gave. You immediately he made that wrong statement. Immediately you tried to correct him. There was this definition you give about basic recording is for partial selector, something like that.
That it generates full selector, while the desktop recording generates partial selector. Maybe that, but I think that was it was just the naming, the way it was being coined that I was trying to address, not the context. It got the context perfectly. It was just the naming I was trying to address. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yes, thank you very much.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, Daniel, is it about what you are saying? Daniel. Okay.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Okay, it's about the last guy that was trying to ask questions. I think there is a disconnect somehow. He doesn't understand the concept at all, the concept of these selectors and containers at all. So he just needs an explanation. It's not like he doesn't really know what you're talking about selectors and then containers. It's still strange to him. So he just needs an.
Okay, the last questionnaire, you mean? You said someone does not understand. I suppose you're talking about the last question.
I think that's what he's trying to ask.
Oh, internet.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, I want to believe we are on the same page now. So in a way, I can see another hand up. Yeah.
Yes, the last question, yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, okay.
I think he's lost with the whole explanation of
but I think
containers and selectors. That.
I think he has. Well, I don't know. I think for him to have emphasized that aspect, I think he understood a little about it, but he needed clarity. I suppose, yeah, he only needed clarity. He got some things about it. Maybe he was saying that some things were being mixed up and wasn't getting those things. I think that was. All right. Now about okay. Thank you for raising that, Daniel. It is this evening is for selectors. Sorry, yeah, it's for selectors.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Bidemi.
Yes, yeah. Thank you very much, sir. That last questionnaire just spoke my mind. So,
all right.
Yes, I don't understand the concept of the selector thing and the container thing, which though I don't want to distract the class because I see it already in a momentum. But as soon as he asked that question, so I said to raise up my mind that yes, yeah, just spoke my mind, sir.
Okay, all right. Thank you. It's good to have both people in the class, and it's also good to have the shy ones. At least the shy ones will help you save your time. You'll move with speed. The bold ones, they will help you put you in the right perspective so that you don't have too much assumption.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we'll do some. We'll just replicate what these guys have done. Those that they seem ahead of us, we'll replicate it. I'll share screen with you and just follow suit. All right, so yeah, let's start a new process. I'll call it selector. We'll call it many names. Basic. We call it recording. Selector, container, call it anything. So, well, you understand what it means? Yes. All right, so then let me move to something we can relate with. I'm moving to classic design experience. All right, so the ground is set for us to cultivate, to drive, and do it whatever we want to do. So this is recording tool. Here, drop it down. You see other things you can do with recording. You can do basic recording, desktop recording, web recording, image recording, native Citrix recording, computer vision recording. You can do recording in this environment, basic desktop, web, and all of that. Okay, so what should I use? An application, a typical application is Notepad. Word is another application. Excel is another application. PowerPoint is an application. Like what John showed us, that app for financial transactions and invoice generator or something, it's an application. Just anything we call application is application. So it's Notepad. Notepad. Sorry. All right, I have my application opened. I'm not naming it anything. This is basic recording. All right, so it's brought out basic recording windows. This thing you are seeing, yeah. All right, so well, I did not raise this with you about start app, but don't let me complicate things. But then you can explore that on your own. So what we want to do now is to type within this text editor area. Okay, so we'll come to. Let's come to type. Don't forget this is basic. Okay, we'll type. All right, so after, you notice that it's highlighted that text area in blue, and then after that, I didn't do anything. It by itself brought out this dialog box. This one you are seeing. all right, that says type the desired value. That value is what you want to text, what you want to impute on the notepad. So you just put anything that you want to impute, and you can say class is huge. I mean, I'm just now the class is huge is a statement. You can increase, you can reduce it. After doing that, you can click on empty field. What clicking on empty field box will do is that it will rub off whatsoever data that is existing on that text editor area. So if there is anything there, it will remove it, and then it will now impute the class is huge. All right, so type it. Take your cursor back to this place where you have the class is huge, and when you have done that, you can now press enter on your keyboard. All right, the class is huge. All right, so what else do you want to do here? Like, after typing that, what else do you want to do? Do you want to highlight it, or you want to format it, or you want whatever you want to do? You can go ahead and do that. But because of the purpose of just to show us a little thing about this, so I will just save and exit. Save and exit means it will save the sequence of what I have done and go back and it will go back to studio. So save and exit. You can follow the full illustration and steps even in your manual. You have it. All right, the class is huge has been brought here. If you can see it, all right. So what you have seen so far is they have demonstrated how basic recording, how it will appear without it being put in containers. Okay, unlike the other one, desktop recording, and you see the container that we are talking about. Just look at this. This is all you have done. This type into. That's all we did. Save and run. I suppose it has executed. Let me check. Okay. So I've removed that. I want to see that that it has really. Oh, it's still executing. Sorry. All right, it's just coming up. The class is huge. All right, that's all. Okay. All right, now this is basic recording. Now, let's check. I've talked about the container. Okay, let me also open another project and see how recording works. Okay, so we call this web. I call it desktop. Let me use desktop. We have done web before. Desktop recording. Great.
So it's break time, sir.
Break time 20806. Okay, let me get done with this. Push it to 2010, and we move from 2010 to 2020. You get what I'm saying? I mean, from 810 to 8. All right, thank you. So desktop recording, this time round, you want to record desktop. So I'm still going to use the same what's the application. Oh, this is what I have. Escape. I want the notepad to come up to be the application will automate. So this is okay, desktop recording. What do I want to do? I want to type into it. Type. Okay, the same thing, just the same process. The class is great. It's for us to have clarify to ensure that they are different. The class is great, the class is huge. All right, bring your cursor back, press enter. The class is great. What do we want to do? Save and exit. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Okay. All right, now I want you to see a difference. Look at this, the basic recording. It's really basic, as in from the word basic. You can see that it is basic. No extra, there is no attachment, nothing serious. It's just basic, straight jacket. Now, that's what we mean by it does not have containers. Now, unlike this, desktop recording, with the same actions and the same thing that we did in basic, now see all that we have. We have this container. What we did is here, this is it's been put in a container. So that's what we mean by that desktop recording. It has containers, and basic recording does not. Basic recording has full selectors. Desktop recording does not, and I will show you that by the time we come back from break. So I would like us to go on break. When we come back, we'll continue from where we stopped. Coming back will be by 8:20 West African time. So enjoy your break. Yeah.
Sir, can I ask you a question this break period?
Kindly keep it. We'll entertain it when we are back. Is that okay?
All right, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, good evening, sir. Please, my question is not about the class. I'm still having challenges in installing my UiPath Studio. Is there anyone that can help me? I've been dropping messages in the chat box. Oh, thank you.
All right, so you are all welcome back from break. I want to believe we enjoyed the short break. All right. All right. Yeah. So
okay.
Yes, we're on a project before we went on break, and while we were on break, Gbadebo said something, and yeah, don't worry, some persons will attend to you. Okay, so it's good that you are not keeping quiet. Okay, then I remember I promised someone that we're going to it's going to make inputs that he wanted to when we come back from break. Well, I think that should be Oshubu. Joe. Am I correct?
No, sir. That was me, but someone has answered my question in the comment section. I wanted to know why my F2 key wasn't posting the recordings, but somebody has honestly answered it. So thank you, sir.
All right, Ibrahim. Well, Badamasi. Oh, Ibrahim Badamasi.
Yeah, sir. I'm with you, sir. Like mine is just like a little submission and maybe some clarification, and the process of that. If I'm wrong, then I may be corrected, because like it is all about interaction and then putting in your idea based on what you have inferred so far. So like sir, like I know that there are some questions that could be raised on the, for example, like on the situation whereby, like for example, what is the difference between like between a container, like between container itself as and like between container itself and the library, right? And then like how like the idea of selection, you understand? Oh my God, like the thought escapes my mind. But anyway, I will as time goes on, it comes in.
Okay, okay. You said you are going to re-raise your question.
Yes. It escapes my mind.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I see Matthews and Hope Matthew Ewauchi.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, sir. I saw the demonstration you did on recording, particularly the desktop recording. So,
okay.
But there was a robot I did, and it looks exactly like that. Though mine will open Notepad, and then it will open write some text to it, and then open a new Notepad, a new window of Notepad. So I want to show you, and then I want to know I know I never used recording, so I just want to get the comparison between the two.
You never used recording for that?
Yes, sir. Yes,
okay.
sir.
I think that's
So
the
that's why
input
I feel
method.
I should show you.
Okay. No. Yes. I will create time for that. Do you get,
Okay.
Martin? Yeah. Don't worry.
Yes,
In a
sir.
short while, I will create time for that.
All right, sir.
To see what you did not using recording. Do you
Yes,
get?
I
Okay,
did the
sir.
same thing with him.
You okay? Yeah. You did.
Mine's similar is the input method, the exercise under input methods.
Yeah. Who is that talking, please? I
It's two
need to
people.
know. Yeah. You say?
It's Joseph.
Okay, Joseph.
So,
Okay.
yes, sir. I did something similar. I was trying to share my screen then, but the network don't permit me.
Oh.
Yes, sir. So my question is, what's the connection between the various types of recording and the input methods? That was my question.
Okay. All right, Prince Raymond.
Yes, sir. Please, my UiPath Studio, it's quite different from yours. That recording, the recording button there, my own is quite different from yours, and it does not have the drop down selection where I can, select the either web or the other ones just as you have it. Mine is saying app/web recorder. That's the only thing I'm seeing
Yes, you
there.
can change that in project settings.
Please put me through, please. Let me change it, please.
Can you see the project tab?
Yes, I can see it.
Yes, you'll see an icon like a J or something.
The icon of the settings.
I'm on project tab. Okay, of the settings. Okay, yes, I've seen it. Project settings. Okay, I've opened it. I can see system, computer vision, OCR.
Okay,
By
so
the
there should be a part that's checked. The only one checked in that row.
That's a modern design experience.
Yeah, unchecked.
Yes. Okay, let me set it to no. The modern design experience has changed. Reload project to apply changes. So I should do the reload.
It will do that automatically. Just leave it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, just press the reload button. That's
okay, sir. I'm doing that now. Thank you very much, sir. Oh, okay, it's fine now. It's fine now. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Lucky and Nas.
I guess one of us, is it Matthew, asked the question that what is the different functions of recording and the input. So what I wanted to ask before is just the basics, the main difference between a basic recording and a desktop. So at least if you answer the other question, it will certainly cover this.
The difference between basic and desktop recording.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, I'm looking at how to approach your questions. You can lower your hands, Ibrahim, Badebo, and Lucky, except you still have something to say.
Let me.
Now, yeah, basic recording. Like what you have seen. Yeah, now basic recording. I told you, I shared with you like what should inform the use of that, and I also mentioned that recording, it's a feature, it's a tool in the studio that could help you simulate user interaction with applications or with web or with anything. That you can, what you have in recording, you also have it in activity. All right. So normally when you use your activity tool to when you use it to draw out your workflow or a project, of course, depending on what you use, depending on what you are using, the activity you are using, that's what will determine some of the properties that will come up. Like in case of type into all those, that's where you can modify your input methods and say, oh, because input methods, they now there is link between input actions and input methods. The action itself, what the user does, that's the action. But the way of appropriating the data, appropriating that data into use in a automation environment is what is being referred to as input methods. Okay, so, and I think at some point I've mentioned that, okay, if you use default method, then you should expect that you cannot run that kind of, anywhere you use default method, you cannot expect that it will run at the background. It will not. If you do that, it will not go. It will throw error. But the other options that we have, the send windows messages and simulate type click methods, they run at the background. Do you get? Okay. Now, yeah, like now to look at what is the, like someone raised the question. I'm trying to put all this as much as I remember. What is the difference between, I think maybe container and variables or something? Okay, I think, but I'm also, he has not really, he has not reconstructed fully what he wanted to ask. Well, I think someone was going to raise some issues around that. What is this container about? What exactly is it? What does it do? What is its work or something? Yet the container also, its presence or its absence informs it informs how your robot can relate with different windows, like the partial selector, the one that offers partial, that generates partial selectors. That's desktop publishing. It's partial selector because it can relate with different windows, and now that we have a place that now we have a place where, or before I move into that, now in every application and web page, of course, if you don't know, I will say that every application and website is consisted of different elements. Putting different elements together, it's what you see as a web page or an application. Of course, when you write your programs, you bring in text, you bring in shapes, you bring in all these, and those things constitute what you have. Now in interacting with these elements, whether the text or the box or something or whatever you want to interact with on your web page or application, now you need your automation or your robot needs to get some attribute from from what you are doing. Like, okay, what exactly are you picking at? You have picked this. Is that what you really intend to pick? All right, or you intend to pick something else? That's where the issue of selector, or the selector issue comes in. And now again, in the discourse of selector, we also can do some modifications. Like you can remove some attributes now from we'll do some demonstrations now. You'll see how you can actually remove some attributes such that your automation would not really bother about whether an application is named in a way or it's not named in a way. All right, so now the selector container, they have their various functions. They have how they operate. Someone was trying to bring up that I think variables also, they have their ways of they have their ways of operation, and they have like in dynamic selectors, you can change some some attributes, especially when the attribute is subject to change. For instance, let's assume you want to automate something that borders on weather. Weather is something that it changes so fast. So when you are automating, you select on a particular attribute called 27 degree Celsius. All right, that's 27 degrees Celsius would not in 2 minutes can change, can drop or go high, but you have to make that a variable such that at any point, even if your automation does not see 27 degrees Celsius, it still relates with that that element as, okay, this is what should be imputed. This is what it should be based on the current data. So it will not rely on it must be 27 because it was 27 the developer included. It will not. So so all these all these should I call it functionalities now? It's for us to see what they can do and how they operate, where they are useful. Okay. To say that what's the difference, the only way I can present it is to tell you about their functionality. That's the only way I can tell you about the difference. When you are to start your project or to do a work, what you need is what you will call for. It's like let me use this. Let me come to this to a layman's scenario. It's like you go to the market and you are scouting for materials you need, depending on what you need. If you want a foodstuff based items, you know where to go. If you want fashion based items, you know where to go and you know what to use. So that's how these things how they come in. So if you are working on let's say on a web page or something, and you want to select an element into your automation, all right, so you have to go in that way. And if you want to if it's something that's like where it's needed to use some variables and the rest, then that's the way to go. I don't know if you are trying to get what I'm trying to say.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sorry, before we went for break, there was a particular
work.
There was a particular difference that you stated, but I wanted to write it and get it straight on my score.
Please, you don't need to write anything here. Why?
I know. No, they know what I mean. Whatever you write, it is. No matter how it is you that use your hand to write. You will get it on your score. So it's just for me to get it. I'm not writing textbook. It's just it's something that I know I can easily be a kind of a backup to my memory.
Okay, you want me, all right.
You said whether the basic recording is one that it does not contain container, whatever. Does not have container.
It does not use containers.
Okay. While desktop uses what?
Containers.
Then there was another difference that you also gave with that selector. I don't know with using the hand. Could you please throw light on that whether it does not, any of them does not use a selector? I don't know how you place it.
But all these stuff, they are on the notes now. If you read them, you'll get it. And when you are doing the practical, it will be easier for you, because somebody downloaded all the notes. Everything he's teaching now, it's on the notes and it's on the Telegram group.
All right, thank you, Anita Young.
Thank you very much.
Yes, yeah. That's okay. I will say thank you for being my son. But not of Nigeria now. I will call that another name, my advocate. Okay, for beating me from the hands of Lucky.
Wonderful. That is great.
All right, so yes, it's been mentioned, yes, but then I also have to be careful. Okay, okay, it's good. It's coming out this way. Now, what we are talking about. We have it in the materials. In fact, one of the reasons why I was looking forward to have us share what we have done is I believe that we are different and we think differently. And I know that when we share things, we are likely going to see different things. Now, not what we have even in the notes. Do you get? And then that can now complement what we have in the note that, oh, so this thing can be approached this way. If you observe, there was a time I was in the note, what we have actually, it's to use input dialogue at the point of maybe variable swapping or something. I didn't use input dialogue activity. I simply used assign activity, if you recall. All right, it's just to see what the diversities that are possible in this kind of work. Okay, so that's just that's just it. All right, so thank you. Yeah, Ibrahim, is it that you forgot to lower your hands, or you still have to say something? Do you still want to say something? Ibrahim Badamosi. All right, I need to move.
No, sir, I forgot to go.
All right. A lady is she wants to say something now. All right, so we were on a pace, and we have something before us. Okay, I would want to move, but if I don't, I'm being. Roy Samuel may say I'm in answering men, but now that it's our turn, I want to decline because that's what I'm about to do. So while I'm about sharing my screen, Roy Samuel, can you lend your voice? Roy Samuel.
Okay. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
So I want to say something pertaining to the last person that spoke. He said we have notes. Yes, even me, I've gone through the notes, but your explanation gave me more light. Like, I think I understand now. As you have explained, I understand better than just reading the whole thing is. So it's a good thing that you explain. Thank you, sir.
Yes, yes, yeah. What I think what Ian was saying, like like there are some maybe some basics. If I'm getting him right, there are some basics that are there. Like I even this evening I've overly displayed some things about the basic and the what's it called, the other one, the desktop recording. I think that was what I was trying to moderate.
Yes, yes, sir. Of course, that's what I was saying, because we keep going back to this basic selector thing, and it's like people are not getting it. They keep taking it back. So I was referring them to the notes. It will make them understand better.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for thank you for all your inputs. It's like I'm shaking now that some press like Louis Simon is saying that it's getting something better. I never knew I was doing anything here, but hearing this, it's like giving me more strength, kind of way. It's just like a good feedback. Okay, thank you, everyone. Thank you for your comments. Okay.
Hello, Mr. Ebenezer.
Yes.
Sorry, with all due respect. No, there's a big difference between face-to-face discussion or face-to-face class than you seeing it on the screen.
Yeah.
So that is why sometimes
let me cut it. Let me cut it. Don't worry. I understand everything. When I say I'm a teacher, I know what I'm talking about. I say
thank you.
Wait. when I say I'm a teacher, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it shabbily. I'm not saying it. I'm saying with a lot of honor and joy, and I know what I'm talking about. I know what I've gone through, and I know all manners of persons and different levels at which I've operated, and different content I have also taught, and all manners of things. I have written papers, publications that I've published at international journals and in local journals. Sorry, you are the one making me to say all of this because I wanted to. All right. So now we have different learning styles. That's where I'm going. Do you get? Now, you see, in a class like this, in fact, in a regular class, we don't use one style to teach. That is what we call VARK, VARK. Permit me to say it so that all of you can understand one another. Do you get? Now, that's what we call VARK, is a learning preference. The V stands for visual. Those are visual learners. Do you get? The A stands for auditory learners. Those are people that they like to, once they hear something, they pick it. If they hear the sound of rain, they can tell you the tonic suffer. They can tell you that it is saying do re mi. They are auditory learners. Now we have people that we call them the reading, that's their R. They like to write, they like to read. I mean, they just give them PDF, give them book, they will finish it. Now the visual learners, they are not the auditory learners. They may have a touch, just a little of auditory learning preference, but their major strength is in visual learning. And that's why you will notice that UiPath has provided a very substantive learning resource for us. So you can use auditory. If you are an auditory learner, you can learn. If you are a visual learner, you can learn. If you are a reading learner, reading learning style person, you can. If you are a kinesthetic, that's the fourth one. The kinesthetic, those are the people that they love to do things. They are tactile. They love to underline. You give them your book, you borrow them your book, they will underline everything, including content, preface about the book. Do you get? Because that's the way they underline. That's the way they relate with content. All right. So I understand all this. So if you are saying this and this, I understand. Do you understand? So with what I've just said now, I also want you to understand that in a class like this, we should expect something. However, we should also look at all these things against maybe our goals, look at it against what we have on ground, what we have to burn, sacrifice, and what if we keep asking questions, saying things, and then we don't get to the end of this? What is the implication? And so we have to look at all these things against some other backdrops. You get? So that's why I keep saying I appreciate your input and all of that. So Rooney Samuel, perfect. Lucky Ernest, perfect. Young, perfect. Everything perfect. I'm not being political. I'm telling you the truth. That's what operates in a class. Whether it is adults, most of course our younger class, the younger folks class. That's the way it is. You cannot use just one approach. Else you will be cutting many other persons out of the learning space. All right. So, and that's why I'm trying to also, revolve around this. Some persons present, some persons, you have to talk, some persons, and you have to see view and all of that. So I'm not even saying that I'm doing the best. All right. So I'm just trying to do something at least around what I know that is good for us. So let's just understand one another to an extent. Okay, thank you so much. All right. Yes. So I think we were trying to look at all these things, the basic recording, how it is. If you look at it, just look at it. Now, to be very factual with you, sometimes you have questions. I have not seen it this way before. Let me tell you, in questions in exam, I have not seen this, but it can come like this. They will just give you a screenshot of this, a screenshot of this highlighted area. And they will tell you that you won't see basic you won't see this basic. They would have removed it. All right, so they will just present this. And then they will tell you that so person was going to do a work, and which tool did he use to achieve that? Which feature of the studio did he use to achieve that? So if you are not conversant with these things, it can throw you away, even though you know what, you may be a very good developer, a good programmer or something, but just that little thing can throw you away. So this argument we are having now is a good argument. You get, because it's making us to even emphasize on something that looks little, but of course we are going deeper. All right. So, and if you look at the desktop recording, it's different. The same thing that we're supposed to achieve in that one, in the basic, is what we have here. And look at what we have. And so the same thing can be done. Screenshot this thing and tell you, how did this person achieve this? Is it through basic or through what's it called, desktop? So questions can come from that. I've not seen this type before, but they screenshot project, a portion of projects, and they will ask you to answer that questions around it. So, all right. So this is about container. This has container. This does not have container. Going by the the selector issue. If you click on your type into activity and you come to the hamburger icon, this, all right, you come to edit selector. Okay, now you notice, okay, I will show you some things here. You'll see the selector editor window open up. So you have essentially four categories or four sections. In the selector editor window. You have the validate. All right. You have the indicate element. You have the repair. You have the highlight. All right. Okay. There you see the edit attributes page. This as this place, notepad, untitled notepad. Then you have the name of the activity itself here. All right. Okay. Now, if if now you as a developer, you have done something and you are sending it across to your client. Of course, it's not the same notepad that you used in your development on your local local machine that will be available on your what's it called now, on your client's laptop. You have notepad on this laptop, but maybe with different title. So by checking, or I mean by unchecking this box, you are saying that, okay, these attributes, in all these attributes, you know what attributes is? Your characteristics, as in characteristics of this thing. In all these things, just forget about the title. Don't use the title to read this process. You can use other things, but don't use title to read it. Okay, and once you do that, if you come to this place, the editor selector, the highlighted place, you see omit. It's the same thing. Omit the title. Use something else. And once I check it, the omit is gone. Okay. All right. So now you see that at the editor selector part of this window, you see that you can edit any aspect. Yeah, like you can edit any aspect of it. Edit anything. All right. Let me uncheck this, validate. Okay. Now, I think I've mentioned this, so I don't need to go back to that. The green shows a pass in your selector, and if it is red, it doesn't show that your selector is okay. All right. All right. Then when you are done with that, you click on OK. This is basic. Please note it. This is basic. The selector is full. Look at it. It's full. Can you see? You can edit any aspect of it. The selector is full. Everything came out fully. Nothing is hidden. Let's now go to this other one, the desktop recording, and check if that is the same thing we'll see. Now, so I'm there right now. I'm clicking on the hamburger button and I'm clicking on edit selector, just as I did on that basic recording. So I have this. Okay, so we have still the same thing, the validate, the edit, indicate element, repair, and highlight. Now, can you see anything different from that other one? Can Lucky enhance? Can you spot out any difference, between this and the other one, just from this selector editor window? Can you spot out any difference?
There's a difference cannot be unchecked.
Okay. Now, yes. Okay. Now, okay. You can.
The attributes are
I think
disabled.
there's an additional attribute.
Perfect. So this is disabled. The attributes are disabled. You can see that only an aspect is enabled. That's what. And then if you come to edit selector, can you see this? The first line, Windows application equals notepad executable file, and all of that. Can you see this? Can you see that this place is grayed out? You cannot edit it. Can you see it? All right. Can you see that you can edit this place?
Yes.
This second line can be edited. That's what makes it partial selector. Did you get that now? That's what makes it partial selector. If you check the UI Explorer, of course, those are various channels through which you can modify your selector and things like that. Okay, so that's about selector and container. That should settle everything about that. I'm not interested in this now, but okay, since we have come there, The UI Explorer, you have the indicate, validate, indicate element, indicate anchor. All right. Prepare highlight UI framework. All right. So and look at it again. You cannot edit some aspect. You can do so for other aspects. All right, so that's about selector and the rest. Okay. All right. Now let's run through this note. Can you see my screen again? And what do you see on my screen?
Partial selector.
Okay.
Selector.
Blah blah blah. Business partial selector. Full selector versus partial selector.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much. All right. All right. You can mute your mic, please. You can please mute your mic. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So that's what this is. That's what we are talking about, and that's what this place is talking about. Because we have mentioned this. Now we have what we call dynamic selectors. That makes it like the third one. Questions may come that so are the selectors we have in UiPath Studio, and they will itemize it. It's dynamic selector, partial selector, abbreviated selector, and then they name all those things, and then they also put full selectors, and they can put something that will replace full. They can call it a synonym. They can use a synonym for full, and put it there to confuse, to confuse us. But don't let us be confused. We should not be confused at all. All right. So the dynamic selectors, this provides avenue for you to even to impute variable into your attributes, like what I mentioned the other time. Here you can, yes, if you select 27 degrees centigrade on your web page, for instance, and you know that this is something that can change. We have some websites that operate like that. The data on them, it's subject to change at any time. But it is what you have selected and imputed as a variable that will be recognized in your automation. So your automation would not be expecting to see 27 always. As long as it's been made a variable, then it continues to run. So that's what dynamic selector is talking about. And then, yes, we have these wildcards in selectors. If you have been attempting questions, you would have seen something like this. Wildcards in selectors. Now, essentially, there are two types of wildcards. Two types. We have the asterisk and the question mark. All right. The asterisk and the question mark. The asterisk, well, let me start with the question mark. The question mark, if you look at the place that has been highlighted, and you should be familiar with this now. The question mark, it replaces just a single character. That's all. All right. If you are looking for what replaces a single character, it's the question mark. And in the case of asterisk, it replaces 0 or more characters. So it looks like the asterisk wildcard is it's more embracing. All right, it embraces more, like it's more flexible, like so it accommodates more than even the question mark. All right, but those are things that you need to know under wildcard selectors. You see this seriously. In fact, I can bet it with you. You will see it. You see it. Yeah, you see it. I'm not prophesying. It's just the way. It's just the way it runs with UiPath exams. Now, UI Explorer. Of course, you must have seen the other time I went to UiPath Explorer. You should be familiar with this. All right, with this place. Okay, so it's also a platform where you can customize your selector. There is something you would notice in the UI Explorer that you would not see under Edit Selector. All right, here you will see the visual tree, like the flow from top to bottom, all those. You will see that. You see the Selector Editor, the one you are familiar with. Okay, and then of course you are also familiar with this Edit Selector pane. Then the Property Explorer. You won't see that in under Edit Selector. You can only see that in the UI Explorer. All right. All right, I think I just left that place, so I don't need to go back there. Okay, just like I said. All right, anchors. I think anchors should be about the last aspect. I think. Okay, introduction to anchors, properties of anchors, using anchors. So we'll do something with this. We did not. It was someone that did it on our behalf. So we are going to replicate a sample of it. We're going to do something around it, so that we see the way anchor operates. Okay. Without verbalizing my instruction, I would like to demonstrate this aspect because it requires you to see it. It requires you to relate with it, and so that you can draw your conclusions and you can see things by yourself. This is UI. Okay. So if you don't mind, okay, maybe I can still open another sequence. I was thinking I could delete this. Okay, let me open another sequence and call this anchor whatever. Anchor. More is better. Create. Okay, and this time around we'll be using I first need to show you an environment, a website. Now let's use and that website is called rpachallenge.com, www.rpachallenge.com. So let's quickly study this website, see what exists there. All right, we'll do that together. So this is a website. What is it about? Let's look at it. The goal of this challenge is to create a workflow. All right, if that was going to take time, you will see a form-like place where you can fill your address, your first name, your phone number, your mail, all this. If it is possible, you can snap it. I would like you to snap it now. You can snap with your phone, or you screenshot, or use snipping tool. Just I want you to just capture what we have now, because this website, the element there, they are subject to change. Okay. All right. And what we want to do now, it requires that we really see this by ourselves. Okay. I assume you have done that. Okay. Now let me refresh. If you notice, let me also do the same. There is address. There is let me snap it. Hello, cheese. Good. All right, so if you notice, you have your address, then beside it, you have your name. Okay, the phone number below address, email below name, and like that. So let me refresh and see if you're still going to get all these elements arranged this way. I'm refreshing. I think it has refreshed, I suppose.
It has.
It has refreshed. Okay. So now I have, is it still the same thing? No.
No.
All right. Yeah, no. Because where address is, yes, remains the same. Now where phone, okay, where first name was, that's where we now have phone number. Where phone number was, that's where we now have last name. You can just imagine that you have trapped your automation to recognize this web page, but you can imagine how unreliable it is. This web page is highly unreliable. But you say as a developer that because the website is unreliable, that you cannot do anything around it. That's the place of you having anchor, something to pin it, to say, look, this is what I want. I want you to respond this way, and this one you must recognize it. So let's see the way it goes. We have seen it change now. Okay, the first thing we do, UiPath. All right. You can open, let's go by the way of, which one should I use? Okay, let me go by the way of activity. Okay, then I should open application. I have it here. Open browser. Since it's a web page, open browser. Put the address, the URL in quotation, double quotes, www.rpachallenge.com. All right. As it is now, if I run this, it will open by itself. Okay, and I want it to open using Chrome browser. Chrome. I don't have Chrome opened on my laptop as presently. Okay, so when it has opened it, what do I want to do?
Open application.
I've opened the browser. I want to let me type into. Let me just do something there. Do you get? Still, this is an effort to establish how unreliable it is. So indicate element inside browser. I'm indicating this. Indicate element now inside browser. So which one is? It's highlighting everything. No, I want it to just highlight a field for me. Let's see. Okay. Oh. All right. I did not. Let me go and do that in Chrome. Or let me change it to Edge, since I think it's opened in Edge. No, these are issues. Could it be that the negate elements? Still the same. Why? You know, Grimy Selector. Oh, okay. Now, whatever it's going on from my hand does not stop the what ought to be from happening. So what this aspect is meant to be highlighted, just as I have the entire page highlighted. So I'm supposed to have some parts highlighted. All right. So if that is not
So
let me use another thing. Okay. Yeah, you want to say something?
okay, sir. I think you should use the find element activity.
Yes, I want to use that. I want to first do something that will throw error. And then before I do the one that will show how anchor works. Sorry, let me move this. It's my PC, and I think there is a fight somewhere.
I had a similar issue, but I found something in that hamburger icon.
Let me check.
I think it's indicated on screen.
Let me indicate element. The same, whatever. I don't want to use this now. Is there no type into? Okay. Okay. I will let me look at what I can do. It's meant to. Let me go back. I'll remove everything. Let me see the workability of recording web page. Open browser. This browser. Oh, step was not recorded successfully. Escape. Let me check. Oh, everything should be fine now. Recording. Web. Please open a new browser window and start the browser. Okay. RPA challenge. web. Let me go to I want to type. All right, so I type and my company name, I mark Akede, and I'm done with that. Enter. Okay, what else do I want to do? I want to I want to still type here. My address is yes, if you give me a street in Texas, I don't mind. 13th Avenue. All right. And where is that? It can be 13th Avenue, can be in Gaki, can be in Florida. All right, so I have this, check it, press enter. What else do I want to do then? You know, these windows keep coming and all those are being recorded. All right, do I want to type? All right, so long and short, I can do everything here. First name, as that record time, my name should be Ebenezer. All right, so let me stop here because of time. I can go through the same process and fill everything. And when I am done and I'm satisfied, I should press what now? It should be submit. So that means I will need a click action for that. Click. Then I come to submit. Submit. Okay. When I'm done and I'm okay, I can press save and exit. Okay, so everything forms a sequence, you know, it results into a sequence in my studio. And these are things I've done. I started with, of course, this is the page, the attached browser. Then I type into it, iMac Academy. I went ahead to type my address. I call it 13th Avenue or whatever, okay. Okay, and like that, and when I was done, I clicked on submit. So I will run this and then we'll see the way it would, how it would be. Save and run. It's going to open another tab and make input as stated. Okay, so that's what should happen. What I can see is that's what should happen. It will open this. Let's open. 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 So now that as it's taking time, it means that it's really it's difficult for the automation to find those elements that had been selected. So it's taking time, it's having issues. Yeah. And when it doesn't find elements in about 30 seconds, thereabouts, it throws an error. That's 30,000 milliseconds. That's another potential question. Of course, by the time you are going through our exam practice, yeah, we'll see some of these things, and we'll still have to come back to some of these topics. That's where it is. Exam questions practice will help us comb every part that we could not get to before. All right, so the error here is that the type into it could not find the UI element corresponding to this selector. And if you look at it, the web control ID, this ID, all right, this one, this type into, it was looking for it It was looking for a place where the company name, but by the time the robot went back to that page, it could not find it there. Very unstable, unstable system. All right, but what's the way forward out of this? Let's use, I will do something. Let me use UI Explorer to indicate element to get an anchor for it and rerun it. Okay, this time I'm going to, the element was what was picked. Now I'm going to indicate anchor. For, I think that one was it for, can someone remind me, what was the element I picked? The first one I did, I think it was it address? Oh, sorry, it was company.
Company's name.
Yeah, so I'm going to indicate this, as my anchor. Take note, this place, this as my anchor, not this. This was the element, or this is the element, this is the anchor. Save. All right. Come to address, open in UI Explorer. I want to get an anchor for it again. Address, indicate anchor. This address, save. What else? I think there should be a third one. This place, my first name. My first name, I suppose. Yep. Save. What else? I'm not sure we have any other issue. So let's run it and see if it will align. Control C. Yes. And run it. Just watch. It's taking a long time than expected. I did not expect it to take this long, but I don't also foresee any problem. Okay, while we're expecting this thing to come, I remember that Matthew Ewalche signified some times ago. It just came back to my memory.
Yes, I sorry, I had a network downtime.
Oh, all right. You wanted to say something then?
I know.
Good. Okay, it's good.
Uh,
yeah, what's that? You wanted to say something before we fall back to class. Okay, so that I don't break the flow. All right, so look at this problem. It's a good problem. Yes, when I say a good problem, so that you can see that problems in software development or in any instance in life is not an issue. All right, so it's just a way to get more familiarized with maybe the environment or with what you need to do. Okay, so source, type into, and it's with the source is the one that has input 9JU home whatever. And where is that? this very one. And then what's the message? Could not find the UI element corresponding to this selector. Okay, so what is the problem? You could not find the UI element corresponding to this selector. Can you see issues with selector now? So I'm going to click on it and edit selector. And I'll do that for all the type into stuff. Oh, you can see that the selector is not also validated, or it's not validated. All right, because you see it in red. All right, so what happens here? The ID, I will check it so that this ID is no more recognized. It's this ID that is causing problem. The automation is looking for this ID, the identity, the attributes, but it could not get it. So when it could not get it, then it threw an error. All right. Okay, but this was the ID that was obtained during the simulation. Okay, so I will check it and I'll validate. Click on validate. Or still the same thing. All right, so let me do something. Let me try, okay, I cannot. Okay, the title, this is partial selector. Let me see. No. Let me indicate elements. That's for the first thing, I think, company. These elements. All right, and then this ID will still be an issue, so let me uncheck it. A moment. No. So let me indicate anchor again. I believe this, I think it's company name. Yeah. Okay, this time around, I expect why now. Okay, let me see if I start at the title start asterisk. If it would. Okay. Wow, why is it not validated? Okay, moment, please. I should get over this. The ID. The selector is still not. Don't read this title. Is it going to do anything? RPA. Omit ID, yes. Let me see. These are not issues. Moments. Selector. Okay, a moment, please. What's going on? It's not still going to work like that. So if this is behaving this way, I will go for the next demonstration using anchor base. So I'll take it off from there. Of course, if my selector is not validated, yeah, so yeah, I should not expect a smooth running of the program to. Okay, why this is like this? So I go to the new activity sequence where I will demonstrate debugging selector using anchor base activity. Let me call it selector still. Okay. So here, what we do, like we said yesterday, is to download we want to fetch, we have data in this download Excel. All right, download file. It's a database. I want to show us what it looks like. So you fetch the data from the database to fill the form instead of filling it manually. Okay, so this is what we have in it. Okay, I really don't need the enable editing. So we have the first column for first name, last name, second column, company name, IT solutions. So you can impute yours, you can include it there, and phone number. Okay. So like I said, we want to use this data, I want to use it to fill the form instead of doing it manually. Yeah, so we'll start with Studio. Okay, so everything starts with the Excel sheets. So we bring in an Excel application scope. Okay, and here we click on this folder icon. We click on what we have downloaded, the database we have with us, which is in Excel. Well, I've not brought it here. Let me bring it from, let me save it. Save it into that project folder. So let me copy it from download and push it there. Okay, this challenge 2. I'm pushing it where? Let me push it into documents. Yeah. It's not that I cannot fetch it from here. I can. I want to put it in the project. folder. And the name is called Selector. Recording. Okay, start with recording. This, so I can save it here. Paste. Let me paste it. Then after pasting, I go back to Studio. We expect to land here. After it must have pasted. So what the Excel application scope is doing is to help me read my database. Okay, we're going to fetch it from download. Workbook path, you go to where the that database is and you bring it in. I have it in download. Challenge 2. All right, so this is the path. Downloads, challenge 2, and the rest. All right, so in the do container, I'm going to use a read range activity. That's what you help to read the data, the values in the database. Read range, and it is what I asked the read range to read, that to read range. Pushing it here. All right, so the read range comes like this. Okay. All right, so now, yes, I need to create a data table, a variable for it here. Control K, data table, RPA. All right, so that variable should be in the variables panel by now. Sorry. It's taking time again. Wow. Okay, let me take it that it has taken it in. All right, so while this is done, so I can now ask open browser application to open RPA challenge. Don't forget, it is what we are trying to do is let the browser be opened, let it read data from Excel sheets, let it call those data, the values, bring them into the form on web, submit. Okay, that's all. So we have just a few more minutes to go. So we have open browser. Okay, when I've opened browser, so I can put www.rpachallenge.com, and when I've done that, when it opens, and then I want it to click on the finish button. Okay, click indicate element inside browser. It's inside the disk. What's the problem? Okay. I think I need to resolve some things on my system. This is not what I want. I want to click, and it's click, bring it here, indicate elements, this start. I'll click on the start button. I'm not sure it's captured this thing. Indicate elements. I don't want round one. Well, oof.
Bless you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sorry, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm sorry. Sorry for throwing that into the mic. I wanted to indicate this starts. If it gives me the same problem, then something is fundamentally wrong somewhere with from my side, because that's the start button is supposed to be highlighted. Having asked it to indicate element on browser, inside the browser, me. If everything is being highlighted. Okay. The explanation I have to this is maybe there's need for system restart or something. Or grossly, from this end, there is a misbehavior which needs to be resolved in some ways. All right, so sorry about that. If you go through the materials, you will see what I'm trying to put in place to ensure that once the Excel file, the data and the values in all those in the Excel sheet is read by the read range activity, that it goes into the browser. The browser now pick up all that, all right, and then it enters the data and then submits on their behalf. It enters it and submits. And because I'm still going to use an activity code for each row, and I don't want you to be confused that what am I talking about for each row. Yes, everything, all the forms that will be filled will be done one after the other. Submission will be done when the details have been filled. So that's all. That's all from this side. All right. Okay. So I don't know if we have some persons want to say.
Hello, sir.
Yes. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yeah, can you hear me, sir?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
can.
I said that indicates on browser.
Mm-hmm.
What if you try using indicate on screen? There's this this icon, this toggle icon that has indicate on screen. I don't know if that one will work.
It's never brought that.
Okay, I mean, if you click what if you click on that icon, it will bring those options. Like, because there was a day I was trying to do something and then I had to go to that button. I mean, that button, instead of indicate element inside browser, I will click on that button and it will give me the option.
Can you see what the result it's giving me?
Yeah.
I will tell you that it's not about that. There's a problem somewhere. If you try it from your hands, from anyone that tries, will get the results. That's the truth. There's no there's no any difficult thing in this. Yeah.
Okay, but my question is, can we use the button to do indicate on screen instead of passing through, to pass through indicate on screen instead of going directly to the indicate on browser.
The button, which button is that?
I don't know if you get, there's a button icon showing towards the top right of the container, the do container or something.
The hamburger, this one?
Yes. The hamburger menu. If you click on it,
can you still see that it's indicate on screen?
yes, sir, that's it, sir. Okay.
Do you agree with the fact that it is not about?
Yes, sir.
All right. So it's. I'm so sorry if you are not. If you could not get what I'm trying to say. There is a technical issue somewhere. Where I am, with my device, and that will not allow the smooth running of this thing the way you should have been done. All right, so I want to thank all for making it to this class. And
please, sir, can I ask a question?
Okay, yeah, you can.
Yeah, it's outside the selector, please. It's about the orchestra. I think the studio we were given the link to download is an enterprise version. So I tried linking it with my orchestra, and it was telling me that my orchestra, my cloud account is a community owned, and I cannot link it with an enterprise account, that I should get a community studio. Please, what am I supposed to do?
You're supposed to get a community studio. That's what you're supposed to do. And that's available through the link. I would suggest you go through now we have on the website, we have links to you downloading the studio. I will encourage you to go through.
I downloaded the studio from the link. I downloaded the studio from the link, from the Highmark Academy link.
Can I come in?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if you're the one that was asking the question on the chats section. I think you should go back to your email address. You get you would, from the download link sent by UiPath, you would find your license keys there. If you follow the instructions carefully, you will be able to you're supposed to download the educational academic one,
yes.
not
Academic Alliance. Yeah, that's the one, the academic enterprise, something like that. Alliance. Yes. That's what is on license. That's what I downloaded.
If you just check again, check the mail again this time around. Check carefully. You should be able to find the license key in the mail.
Uninstall the existing studio. Uninstall it so that it can run well. Okay. Uninstall it first before you attempt installing the community version.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Hello, sir. Please, can I talk?
Okay. Yes, you can.
Yeah. This is Baba. I had the same issue, but what I did was that I got the PDF guideline for my mail. I downloaded it, and I used the link to.
Sorry, the same issue with what I wanted to do, or with who?
No, with the guy that spoke.
Okay.
I get it. Okay, what I did is I downloaded the guideline PDF, and I read through, and I used the link on the PDF to download and registered. I was able to register. But when I went through the link from the email, I wasn't able to register. But when I went through the PDF, I was able to register. So if you go through the PDF, you will get your license key, and you will be able to get the app. Hello?
Okay,
No, it's not about the license key. I got my license key too.
Okay.
Okay, I think, good evening, sir. Thank you so much for the class, sir. Gbadebo Olatunji speaking, sir. I'm the one that had issues with the license key. I didn't get a license key in my mail, but I will try to do just what he said. I also downloaded the PDF guide. So I'll go to the PDF guide again, then see if I can register and see if I'll get through, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you. I think on this note, it will be good if we draw curtains onto this training, and so that we can reunite with our family members in good time. I mean, disconnected from them for about 3 or more hours. So I want to say a very big thank you to all. Yeah, it's a great sacrifice, which I must still encourage you to pay. You have to keep paying this sacrifice. So we'll see in the class. Oh, I can see James. James, sorry. James Emiade, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Please, I just want to ask that I was seeing the WhatsApp group that was created yesterday, and I've been asking if it has a specific function other than the Telegram group. Nobody has been able to answer me. I want to know if you are going to be submitting something on the WhatsApp group separately, or what's the function of the WhatsApp group?
Well, let me just answer you technically. I don't know. I'm not in charge of that group. All right, and it is not iMac, but those who have concerns for peer development and to ensure that they are able to get to a good point in this training, they are the ones that created that group. So the group is created by one of you, and it is also for you, but not by iMac, not by Grand Leader. You get.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. I want to know if it was created by iMac or Grandida.
Or by individual, with by individual, option C. All right, more hands up. Daniel.
Yeah. Hello, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Sorry, just a quick one before we go. Let me just still buttress the last question. The WhatsApp group is for us, just to help ourselves get outside class. It has nothing to do with Grandida or HiMac. Just to help ourselves to come up to speed with what we've been learning in class to get just an individual platform. Having said that, sir, I would want to thank you for today's training. Today's training looks like for me it's the best so far. I really enjoyed every bit of it, and for the challenge, I will throw it out. I don't know if you can take it as an assignment to work on it and see how we can if we can do from our end, work as a team and as a group, and then present it next week. That's for John and the rest of us. Those that will be interested in doing it, maybe you should just take it up from where you stopped and then see if we can work on it and get results.
Okay, what I will add to it is that you embellish it like this. You add some, like you vary what you do just from your critical thinking, just do something different from what we have in the manual, and let's look at some possibilities that can exist also with around this class practice. Okay, that's what I would like to add to that. All right, thank you so much. All right, so
thank you, sir.
So Sylvester Adedigba, Samuel, you joined with 2 devices. All right, I hope you were able to still make up to participate in the class. All right, Rahim Olalekon, you didn't speak today. Yeah, Rachel Buki, Prince Raymond, yeah, Osia Rachel, did you speak up today? I'm not sure. Omotayo Kende, Obajuluwa.
Prince Raymond asked the question. I actually.
Yes, I know. I'm talking about Rachel. Osia, yes. Yes. Why
Yeah,
won't I?
I didn't.
Why won't I? Okay.
I
Why
didn't
won't
really
I
have
know?
much to say though. I just asked a little thing, something little when you were
Okay.
explaining selectors about the web and the desktop and the basic selector rather.
All right.
And my network has actually been fluctuating.
Okay then. All right now. Okay. Good one.
Yeah, thank you
All
very
right.
much, sir, for the class.
Thank you so much. Yeah, for your patience too. Omotayo Kende, Obajuluwa, Matthew, Lucky. Lucky was I would say that he was the class rep for for the class we are just concluding. Yeah. Then we have others.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you for promoting me.
Okay. Yeah. Ajawa Videvi and myself, I came. Babalola spoke towards the end of the class. Daniel Chukudi, Dami.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for calling me my name too.
All right, thank you. Dami, I'm not sure I heard you today. Ebenezer Ifeanyi, you shared on the post, the chat. Emmanuel Felix. Yeah, Emmanuel Felix, did I hear you today? Theophilus, how are you? Yeah. Okay. Badebo. Okay. All right, sorry. Yeah.
Good evening, sir.
All right. Okay. All right. Great. Oh, some persons are still on the road cruising. Great. All right. So Vivian.
Good evening. How are you?
Yeah,
Thanks
great.
for today.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, Vivian, Iwegbu, James also, of course. Joe Shubu, as usual, spoke extensively. John Ibrahim, Kingsley. All right. So have a wonderful weekend. Don't forget our deals. We have a lot of deals. Yeah, a lot. If I may itemize them, I will not be able to exhaust it. Part of the deal is you can go ahead of the class. You can do your exam at will, and then again you have many platforms that you can visit. Okay, that's okay. Then immediately you are done with your class, with your exam, I mean, the first and the second, your orientation starts. So you don't need to wait until we are done by August. That is with the advanced training before you get into orientation. All right, and 3 months after, of course, the need. Oh, sorry, let me leave that. I keep going to that track. Okay, all right. So you now, and again, a part of our deals also is it's what now? I think against next week, this selector practice, we work on it and embellish it. Like what I mean is you put some what we call jara into it. Jara it means extra. Put some icy sugar. As you should understand what I mean. Not to take you off course, but to make us to see another dimension to how to know how some workflows could look like. Okay, and Next week, Monday, we'll be starting lesson 5, which is on control, and we'll be looking at some activities around that, and so we keep moving. Okay, so thank you everyone. Shomojo, you have something to tell me?
Thank you, sir.
Shomojo should be a female. I had a male's voice.
No. Sheun Ojo, that is Sheun. Sheun is a male. Ojo
Okay.
is a god. Ojo is a God-given name.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Shebi, you are Mr. Ebenezer. You are from Yoruba side now.
Okay, I think so.
Sorry. Are you not a Yoruba man? Are you not a Yoruba man, sir?
Well, I'm a people's man. No.
No. Which part of the country you should be from south.
Okay, all right. Sorry, I think over time when I've had Shemojo contribute, I thought maybe it's I've had a female voice. Maybe I'm mistaking it for another voice or something. It could be that. Yes, that's what your names I've already read some codes with your names and your voice, even if I'm not seeing your names on the interface. Right now I'm seeing it on the interface, but some names I've kept them in my memory, and even voices, and I've kept them. So it's like that. So I've attributed even gender to some names. So like Shemojo, I thought a female. Runyi Samuel, I know is a female, and some peculiar personalities like that. So sorry. So I will address my database.
So you have used the names as containers.
Okay.
Honestly. Right. Honestly, yes. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Good one. Okay. So thank you, everyone. Enjoy your weekend.
Good night, sir.
Thank you, sir. God
All right, good
bless
night.
you.
Good night, sir. God bless you. See you on Monday.
Thank God it's Friday.
Thank you, sir.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Good night, sir. I really
Good
enjoyed
night,
today's
everyone.
training. Thank you so much. Good night, sir.
Thank you, sirs and Mars.
Please, anybody should help me on the Instagram page before you go. So if I have challenges, thank you.